Do you have a leadership team?
We do.
Do you have a woman on it? Seriously?
No, I'm not. I'm laughing because Jason Herbert just told me the other day, he's like, you need a woman on your team because she'll bring a totally different dynamic.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Small Town Grit. We are live with Adam Bierlein and Noah Trombley, owners of BTE Electric. Welcome to the Grit. Are you guys excited?
Of course.
Are you nervous?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect here.
So I kind of know you guys way kind of back in the day, back from St. Michael's even. So you guys are a little bit younger than me.
3 years?
Are you guys graduate together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I always in my personal stuff, I always talked about the chop suey. You guys remember the chop suey there?
Brutal.
What do you mean brutal?
Oh, that was a cold lunch day for me. You like the chop suey?
That was my favorite meal there.
Oh, man.
Turkey and gravy over biscuits.
I don't remember that one.
It's delicious.
It wasn't impactful.
Man, I just remember Fridays was the good peanut butter and chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk, yeah, that was always a go-to.
Only on Fridays, though.
Yeah. And then we went to Reese together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys, how'd you guys get into your field?
So I started in high school, working for another contractor, co-oping, and then stuck with them as soon as I graduated.
Was that pretty common to do like a co-op in high school?
Not really. Not
Okay.
back then.
Yeah. That's what I remember back then. They really didn't push the trades. I know like Chad Ross that graduated with me, he kind of did a co-op at the time. And I thought, what are you doing? I've never heard of such a thing. But his dad was in the field, so it kind of worked out good.
But you were getting pushed away from doing that.
Yeah, they actually tried talking me out of the trades. They wanted me to be an engineer.
Yeah. That was
Not interested.
the big thing of college prep classes and groom you to go to college. So it's kind of a little bit different now, formatting that. Everybody seems like they're kind of pushing people to the trades. Kind of a generational wise, people are retiring or moving out of state and kind of some voids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a big lapse of tradespeople from that scenario, pushing into college.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing the effects of that.
Yeah, we actually have superintendents and principals coming to us asking how can we get kids back into the trades. It's like, well, put your shop class back in school and have kids work with their hands and tell them it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not frowned upon to go in the trades. You should be proud to go into the trades.
I just saw recently on Facebook you guys had like what you guys have at the school? I saw it. Brandon there.
Oh, that was Build Like a Girl. So it was bringing school-age girls into basically an arena, if you will, with different areas. So you could go into construction, you can go into plumbing, you can go into rigging, you can go into building scaffolding, and it was all hands-on. It was for girls because there is a shortage of people going in the trades, and it's predominantly men. So why not have women get into the trade as well? And
Yeah.
showing girls that there's an option there.
When you guys are posting job openings, do you get many female applicants?
One.
I was going to say, I think two. We interviewed two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we were going to offer that girl a job, but she went away. She ghosted us. So maybe maybe it wasn't as good of an interview as we thought. Oh, man. That was awkward. But anyways, yeah, we had the other girl who works for us now, Emma. She's great.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice. So how long you guys been BTE? Obviously, BTE is Bierlein-Trombley Electric.
Yeah. 2014.
Oh, so yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Congrats. Was it tough to make the plunge?
Nerve-wracking.
Personally or family or?
Taking that jump, that leap of faith, and hoping it all works out. And especially, I had just gotten married and planning to have kids. And
Got to factor all that in.
yeah.
But I always say, if my wife wasn't supportive, that and it also helps that she's a bookkeeper and accountant, so that helps out me pretty well too. But I mean, she's been my back and my support from day one, and I'm sure you guys feel that if it wasn't for your spouses, that you wouldn't be where you're at today. Or
Right. No way. I think that was the first person I talked to was your wife. Like, Adam just called me when I was out walking Lincoln, and he said, do you want to start a business together? I was like, well, we've always talked about it. Electrical, right? and he had a job lined up, ready to go, and we met and what Adam was worried about, I wasn't worried about, and I was worried about, Adam wasn't worried about. And to me, it just made sense. I mean, we tried the Quick Star and the Amway, and we've always had our hands in something, but this one made sense, and it's worked out well.
Yeah, it's good. You guys are kind of unique because you have different dynamics of your business. So how does that work out day to day? You know, I always say partnerships they're tough enough being partners with your spouse, but you know what I mean? I mean, like, how do you guys spend 10 years in success? So
We both brought different aspects of the business into our own business. Noah coming from the office side more, and I've the field side. And it was a good mesh.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell it's
together.
really been successful. So you guys have done something I've wanted to do for a while. You guys opened another location. How has that been?
It's been a year already.
Yeah.
Has it really?
That Sean moved up there. He, he finished a job for us in West Branch, and then he was kind of living up there and driving back and forth. We were off to a slow start this year, but right now we've got a lot on the books, and it's to that point now where we could use 2 more guys, and I don't know if that'll ever stop. I mean, that's what we've been saying for 10
the story
years.
of our life, or
Yeah.
story of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
is 2 more guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So did you hire employees right off the get go, or you guys just kind of humped it out and like, we can do a couple jobs to get cash flow going, or like?
I'd say it was 6 months after we started. Hired our first, and
Are they
one
still-
after the
still
other
there
after
today?
that. Yeah.
We've
No.
our first employee is still there. Is that what you said?
Yeah, your first employee.
Yeah. Sean's first employee.
Chuck.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our first employee here or in Traverse City.
In here, Bay City.
Oh no, yeah, they're not here no more.
Yeah.
No, but Sean was our second employee and our first apprentice, and then he made his way through to become a journeyman, running jobs, and now he's branch manager up in Traverse City. So he's a success story.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always try and look at opportunity to promote within, and then make them excel. And I'm always for people too. If I hate to lose good people, and it happens in our industry. Whether they might go to your competitor, they might start their own business, and hopefully you leave on good terms. And I've always told my guys, I said, I'm not gonna slow you down to an opportunity to better yourself or your family. And they've never done me wrong, and hopefully you guys have a similar situation. As you grow and have different personnel, and it's always a conflict of, we talked about it the other day. It's like, we have such good guys, but can they all work together? Do you have to find that mesh?
Yep. So many personalities you deal with.
Yeah. Especially in the office. I've been in your office, and I was like, there's people all over the place.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel like a counselor. You hear so many stories, and there's some people who come to me and it's like, I've never even told this to anybody else. I'm telling you first. I'm like, oh gosh, let me sit down here. But it stretches you and makes you a better person overall. And there's other things I've learned in my business that I've taken to, whether it's managing a hockey team or being part of a church or even something within our family. It makes you grow, whether you're ready for it or not sometimes.
Yeah. So how's your business affect your personal life at home? Has there been a good balance for you guys, or?
Better now. I would say the first couple of years of starting a business, it's stressful.
Yeah, no, I can relate.
I agree with that. And yeah, it's kind of to a point now. We have good managers and good spots. My phone rings a lot less because they're the filter, if you will. But yeah, I mean, ask our wives, they might say something different, but it is definitely better now. It's definitely better now.
Yeah, I got kind of to the same point. It's like my phone doesn't ring as much, and it sometimes it bothers me because I'm so used to the phone ringing, like to solve a problem or address something, and I'd be like, 3 hours went by and my phone didn't ring. It's like, is everything all right?
Right.
Is it,
Does things still work? But like, I call it owner's guilt. Like, if I take a Thursday, Friday off or something like that, it's like, but I'll still be available. I'm still going to be there. If you need me, you can call me. You can email me. It's like, I just think every owner has that built in. It's like, it's okay to take a day off, but it's hard to take a day off and completely be off. I mean, when I was on a cruise, there was 2 or 3 days we were out at sea. I couldn't get a call, but I got back in and I didn't really even have that many voicemails or emails. I'm like, well, wow, it is possible.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like that owner's guilt feeling? Or do you not have that?
No, I do every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if I leave early on a Friday, and I feel guilty just
Right.
doing that. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm like, I don't want my staff to feel like I'm slacking or like I'm earned this right, which I probably have
Absolutely.
because I make up the time during the week. But I never heard it as owner's guilt, and I probably can relate to that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I feel guilty every day.
Right. It's weird.
So did you guys go to college then? I mean, obviously you went to right in the trade.
I did not.
I did. I listened to the guidance counselor, and my dad was an electrician, and I had probably 2 or 3 summers under my belt, and then I was like, well, I'm going to be an engineer, and I can always fall back on electrical. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the right thing to do, and then I co-opted for about a year, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I can't be a paper pusher, because to me that's all the engineers were doing. Where I co-opted, and I just asked my dad almost like for his blessing. He was like, absolutely, you can make good money, it's a good career. And I'm like, all right, I got my dad's blessing on it, and I kind of think that helped. And I put my application out and got an apprenticeship, and I was at a place in Bay City for about, how long were we at our places of employment?
I think 13 years.
Yeah, I was thinking 12. Yeah. And
At the same place, yeah.
I was at the same place for...
Yeah, it's pretty dedicated.
Yeah. But that's how I was able to get... I was more of a office person than field employee. I think I only was in the field for 4 or 5 years, and I got brought in the office, and I did well there. They lost their estimator. I stepped up and never looked back. So I kind of always wanted to get out of the field. I was okay with that, but then when I started our business, I had to do it all over again, which was it was like Adam's like, it's like riding a bike. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't ride a bike that long, though. So you might have to help me here a little bit. But we made it through, and it was good for me to get back in the field and understand the difficulty of how hard it is to actually do something versus seeing it on a print.
Yeah, your dad was, you probably don't know it, but like, I think it was our 5th and 6th grade basketball. He was my coach.
Yep.
And I was like, at that small point, because my parents were divorced and my dad wasn't really a lot in the picture at that time, like your dad was like kind of like my go-to for that period of time. So I always looked up to Jay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was pretty special to me.
Yeah, he's a great dad. Like, I think I kept stats for your team, if I'm not mistaken, because I was at every game. I was probably at every practice, which was cool for me, because you guys were always the big kids, and it was fun.
Yeah. Did you guys play? You guys both played baseball at Richville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on your team.
Red. Yeah.
Red.
Mike showed a picture with us, showed on our thing. So we were the red team.
Yeah.
And then we had Kepper. Remember Kepper?
Yeah.
As our coach.
What was his son's name?
Pat.
That was fun.
Remember playing on the one field with a gas station? If you could hit it into the gas station parking lot, it was like a home run. Yeah. So that was the good old days. Because somebody's like, have you ever been to Fairgrove? And I was like, yeah, we used to go there that was our league.
Yeah.
We had 3 Richville teams, Akron team, and a Fairgrove team.
Huh.
So that was our league back in the day.
I played in Reese, so I wasn't part of those days, but
You missed out.
yeah.
I think you did miss out. That was like the old Sandlot days.
Yeah.
I mean, that really was.
I wouldn't have wanted to bat against Adam, though. He was a grown man in 6th grade, so I was probably better not playing. Probably would have hurt me.
Maybe
Maybe this whole thing wouldn't have happened.
Never know.
Never know.
So what are you guys doing for spare time? What's your obviously I think you coach, don't you?
Yeah, I'm in a hockey rink a lot, managing a team, coaching a team. With my son's on the junior spirit, so we're at the hockey rink a lot. That's my spare time. I mean, I don't have a lot of hobbies, honestly. Just the business and raising kids for me right now.
Yeah, I would say kids volleyball and activities and travel. My wife and I like to travel. Just went to Chicago this past weekend, and
Yeah. What about community involvement? You guys do anything community? I know you were doing a lot of things with Frankenmuth there. You still
I was very involved with the Frankmuth JCs. I'm too old now to be in the JCs.
Yeah, somebody told me that you can age out at the JCs.
Yeah.
I was like,
But Noon Rotary in Frankmuth, I'm
Okay.
part of that, and Noah's Bay City.
Rotarians, and then I'm on the board for Associated Builders and Contractors. I'm on the executive committee now as well. Elder at my church. We try to give back through our business as much as we can. Go to events, sponsor baseball teams, softball teams, things like that. Golf outings,
Hockey.
Yeah, sounds
a
like
lot of hockey teams.
I always wondered, like, we grew up in Reese there, and I'm like, we never had hockey. Like, how do you get your kids into hockey when you don't even grow up?
Right. That's what I told my son. I never had the chance. We'd roller hockey. We'd always do that after track practices in the spring when the Red Wings were in their heyday. And then we started playing men's league when we graduated. So
Okay.
that's how I got into it. And I was like, this is the most fun sport I've ever played. This is so fun. So I was like, I have a boy or a girl. My daughter Oakley, she's slowly getting into it. We'll see if it sticks. But my son just loves it. Anything athletic, anything competition he's in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's very competitive.
Yeah, we have an ice rink here in Vassar, and I used to take the boys down there, and we got skates, and I could go like hell, but I couldn't stop. That's probably why there's a bunch of holes in the boards down there. But I could go like hell because I was who was a speed racer? I don't remember his
Yeah,
name.
who was that big speed racer for a while?
He has like a space name. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to say Aho, but it's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Okay.
I just loved them. They always had these big thighs for like
Yeah.
pushing, like bobsledding. And I'm like, so I go up to the rink and I'm like showing off to the kids. I'm like, I could do this. I'm like, but I could never stop. I had to just derf it or just run into the board.
Oh my
so.
gosh.
I'm like, that's a good dad moment.
Yep. It's important to be able to stop, and that's what you learn when you go to learn to play hockey. How to start and then stop and then skate backwards and be able to turn around. And you watch the pros do it. It's so effortless,
Yeah.
but it's a skill.
Yeah, especially that thin little blade and they're just
And what they can do, batting the puck out of the air and everything else, it's unbelievable.
yeah. Now they can kind of control with the puck. They kind of scoop it in there.
Yeah.
Like almost like lacrosse.
Yep, that's what they call the cross goal in Michigan, from behind the net, flip it around.
Okay.
One of our kids did it at 11 years old last year. I mean, I couldn't do it. They're just so skilled.
Apollo.
Apollo.
Andrew.
Yes, Apollo.
We were close.
We were,
Aho,
yeah.
space.
Aho.
I love the Olympics. I could watch
I love
those
it too.
every year.
I
Isn't that
agree.
coming up this year?
Is it?
Summer?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in Paris?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? I'm on it.
Yeah, you are.
And then the swimming, that's always fascinating me too.
Right.
I can't swim.
Are you being serious?
Not great.
Okay, my wife can't swim. She won't go on a boat. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's one thing
I mean,
we
she will, but it's
yeah. Well,
push her.
Got to wear the life jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
if you live in Michigan, you gotta know how to swim.
I would think so.
That's what we said with our kids. We go to Tawas, we go to Mile. You're always by water. You better be able to at least swim to the shore from the middle of the river.
That's fair. That's
fair.
fair.
I can make it that far.
Then you're all right. You passed the Trombley test.
So what's the next steps for you guys? Do you guys do like
We do.
Oh yeah.
yearly goals?
Yep.
3 years,
5
5
years.
years?
All of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
is
What's
it-
the next step?
is
You got a few tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah,
You know.
when you set goals, I mean, just for guys just starting out, I mean, is it? I always say it's not always money driven. It's it might be like for us this last year was systems. We implemented a lot of systems that we never had.
Yeah. That's one of ours. We've been working on for 3 years is systems, taking what we have and restructuring it to be more efficient and run smooth. I mean, that's your end goal.
Yeah,
Then
for
implement them into our Traverse City branch and our future other branches. Yeah.
any insight on that?
No.
Okay.
There's dreams, right?
Yeah.
I feel like as you grow, I feel it's like God puts it in you for what your vision is now. Like if I wouldn't have thought the way I did 10 years ago, and I would have been scared to say where we're at now out loud for fear of maybe getting laughed at or like, yeah, good luck, but that always helps me. Like, tell me I can't do it again. That's good for me. I want to hear that because
Motivation.
I will show you that we can. But I feel like your goals and your dreams change as you evolve and grow. So like lately I'm like, I kind of act as the GM of the company. I'm like, I need to hire a GM. I never would have even thought, how do we do that? But because there's so much that goes on that, like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what about that? What about that? So try to implement the 1-3-1, one problem, 3 solutions, type of thing when you come to the door. Implement that type of thing even more to try to get us out of it. Because I feel like when we hit a certain dollar amount, we couldn't get past it. Adam and I were the problem. We were in the way of too much.
Same.
So you got to get out of the way. You got to promote and strengthen your leaders so that way you can grow, because you're always the constraint.
Yeah, and we do have good leaders. We just have to empower them to make those decisions and give them the confidence, experience.
Yeah, we've got a great group in the field, in the office. I mean, we're so fortunate for those that we have, but you got to have good people.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you almost feel like the dad of the business, right? Like you're always over top of your kids and overseeing it, or just overbearing. And it's just, I do it here all the time, and my staff yells at me. They even bought me a shirt that says "Stay in my lane." So because I just meddle in everybody's business, and I don't do it intentionally. It's just it comes to nature, and they're just like, you just let us do our thing. They've been at the point they just tell me that they got it, and which is what I want.
Yep.
And that they take ownership of it. So, we've been fortunate too with our growth that we have excellent staff. Actually, I end up hiring a lot of friends that I know, and it works out. It's been working out good because they know my expectations. They know how crazy I am and what I'm got going on. So I've been really blessed that way. You want to ask me some questions? You said you want to put me in the hot seat today.
Well, I don't really know how you got to where you are, and I don't know. I've listened to some podcasts and stuff, but like, how did you get from the guy? I remember like a memory of you in high school. You looked at me and you were huge, and I was always small. And you're like
8th grader that can dunk a basketball.
Yeah,
right?
You're like, "What's up, Hoss?" I'm like, "Me?" Somebody behind me. Like, "Hey, what's up, Corey?" Yeah. But like, how did you get from that to here?
It's a long story. It is a long story. I did go to the. It's a long story. But just, I mean, let's say go back even like 10 years. Next year will be 20 years with IRD.
Really?
Yeah. So we started out 05. I did my first commercial blueprint for Carter Lumber. I did their training tower in Caro. And that was kind of my start. Because I was working at Weber Lumber. And then they got bought out and they closed their facility. And I was just dating my wife then at the time. And so I did design for a lot of years. And I did design out of the house. And then my wife had 2 boys, and I was at the house working, and I had a client over, and the 2 boys got in a fist fight while my client's there. And I'm like, oh, man. I was like, I got to get out of this house.
Wow. So
at that point, I'm like, all right, well, I really didn't generate enough revenue to have overhead with the leasing a building or anything like that. So I had to kind of come up with an idea, like, how can I supplement that? And that's how we opened our cabinet shop. I'm like, I had background on selling cabinets, so we kind of went in that. I partnered with a lady, and we made a go of that for a few years. And then it was, I did a buyout, and things just kind of changed. It was right before COVID, probably a year before COVID. And I'm like, you kind of get to that point, you're kind of stuck in that rut financially. And I was like, I got to make one more change. And at that time, we were doing cabinets, and I remember contractors coming out, and they're like, can you come out to the job? I'm having problems with this. And I go out there and I explain it to them. I'm like, I don't know why I'm explaining this. This is if I'm coming out here and I'm not holding your hand, but I'm guiding you on this. I'm like, I feel like I just can do it. Or like they do it and it just wasn't the details I want. So then I started doing a couple small projects, a couple kitchens, little bathrooms. And then that's all it takes is 1 or 2 jobs, right? And then you just kind of get momentum. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to shift my business, and I'm all in. And so we went to construction, and then we were probably a full year. And then COVID happened. That almost shut us down. I mean, I'm sure it did a lot of people. It was kind of nerve-wracking. You couldn't leave your house.
Right.
We did actually have a couple of jobs going at the time. They were for a handicap and elderly couple.
Yep.
So we had some bathrooms we had to finish up because there was some guidelines that we could get away with that kind of stuff.
You were essential.
We were essential. Yeah, that was a good word. And And I just owned it, just like everything else that I've done. Just go all in, and I know we'll figure it out later. We'll just implement the right people and
Clean up your mess, right?
yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Literally what I was going to say.
That's how we've ran for the last 10 years. Make a mess and clean it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of like in the same situation as you. I'm still growing. We're just looking at different avenues of growth instead of, I looked at doing another location in Saginaw or, way back I looked at a cabinet shop in Traverse City, and I'm just like logistically I wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you're a dreamer. Mm-hmm. You have this vision of can be this way, and this. Sometimes you just gotta give it some time and let it work through the system, or my wife will tell me what I can and can't do. So,
the boss.
Yeah, the boss.
Yeah.
And no, she's grounded me a lot. Otherwise, I think I probably would have been bankrupt because I would just overextended ourselves and that happens. And I've called you a couple of times because we're in a situation of growth, and I'm like, how do you handle growth? Because just to get another van on the road.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not.
No, I just was listening to a podcast. That's what the guy said. Instead of paying cash for it, good that you can, but cash is king, especially if we're going into a downturn right now. It's like maybe you finance it for 10 years. It's fine. Mm-hmm. As long as you can make the payments and you're responsible with your money, but then you have this cash for that guy who was taking forever to pay, and your vendors still want to get paid, and you want to have a good relationship with them. So there's lots of different ways of doing it, but it's a challenge every day.
It is a challenge every day, and it's different every day.
Mm-hmm.
And someone I like that. One of my employees for Christmas bought me a chaos coordinator on a mug. So I own that to the.
Yep.
I organize chaos.
Yep.
So I asked for. I'm worse because we have different divisions. We have a landscape. We have a lawn business. Different aspects of our construction, just like you guys. You guys have residential, commercial, industrial, Generacs, all different aspects. So it's never the same.
Right. We did pretty good. You almost hit all of them.
I know.
What am I missing?
Service.
Oh, service.
Yeah, residential, commercial, service. But yeah, we just started this year. We know the profitability of each income stream. And that's hard to do, with your CRM and syncing to Notify QuickBooks. Notify is our CRM. But anyways, it's that was a big step for us. But it's cool to see this year how many hours each income stream has, the profit of each income stream. So then you kind of know, like, we got to do a little better with this one, and let's pour more into this one because this is where we make a lot more of our money.
We did that. We have not implemented that whole thing, but we started doing the same thing. We went through and what's our employees' costs. Give us the breakdown because. We just go like hell when you're busy, and you hope it all works out. But then at some point, you got to go back and be like,
right.
We had a friend of ours said that if you had more money in your account at the end of the year than you did beginning, you did well. That's how his books ran. How'd you make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought a truck, so I must have done pretty good. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, that works when you're a certain size, but as we've grown, you can't. Because you could go 2-3 months, and next thing you know, it's too late. It can happen that quick.
Yeah.
If you're bidding a job and you're on hours, you're over on hours, you're over on material, it's nice to know that halfway through the job, not at the end. And that was our challenge. We kept knowing after too late, all right, let's see how we did in the job. Like, oh, we didn't do very good. Well, it's too late now. So we flipped that around to where, we know in the beginning of the job, that's when you make or break the job. It's in the beginning. You got to start off right. You start out wrong, you get behind, you really can't get out of the hole then. We've learned that the hard way multiple times.
Yeah. You're going to make mistakes, and we're going to fail. It's just, I always say, hopefully it doesn't cost me too much.
Right.
It's going to cost me at some point, but I mean, just try to minimize the financial damage.
Yeah.
And relationship-wise, too.
Yeah.
Whether it's with you and another contractor or homeowner, we try to minimize those fails.
You learn, you move on, but it's a cost of training, right?
So did you guys have a mentor? Like I was like, I was 20 years in this game, and it's like never really had a mentor.
I wouldn't say one particular, but you take certain tidbits from many different people and try to put it all together. I mean, you can be talking to somebody at a dinner or event, and they say something and it clicks with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That
say
little bit of networking then.
Yeah.
I would say if I had a mentor, it'd be Brian Eggers. He's a owner of AKT Peerless. They did our environmental survey when we bought our building. I didn't even know you had to do that, but he always says things to me where I'm just like, I walk away like, how in the heck did he do that? But it like sticks with you, like Adam said. He always has good nuggets for me, but not a mentor that we go to like every week or every month that, we lean on. We say that to our guys a lot. Like, I didn't grow up running a company with my dad or my mom or really anybody. So we're kind of learning.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, bear with us a little bit, because sometimes as an employee you get frustrated with your boss, right? And it's hard to think about what it's like on the other side of the table when you're signing the front of the check, not the back of the check. And we've been there, and we remember what it's like to be employees. So we do take a lot of what our guys say to heart and try to listen to them and make changes because we want it to be a good place for them to work too.
Yeah, I think the expectations, obviously you're their boss, so they hold you high expectations. But hey, we're humans too. We're gonna make mistakes, or we're not gonna think of something, or everybody has a different aspect on how they're thinking about it. So it's I get a lot of frustration from our staff, and we've been very good about at least letting me know that there's some frustration. But it's things that I don't even think about, or things that don't bother me, but they're gonna bother them. That's one thing. It's like I want some little. It's just like at home, right? At least if I didn't make the bed that day, I'm okay. But it probably might bother my wife. So let's just make the bed,
right?
So those are little things that once you know your staff or your leaders and their triggers, and you just got to get through it. Especially you spend the majority of the day with them.
Yeah, we've done some blood walls and issues lists and stuff, and the top one every time is communication.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. We talk about it every day.
Do you have a leadership team?
We do.
Do you have a woman on it? Seriously?
No, I'm not. I'm laughing because Jason Herbert just told me the other day, he's like, you need a woman on your team because she'll bring a totally different dynamic.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Because we had one. We don't right now. I'm sure we will again. But it's the truth. Like, it's just, they just think about things differently. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I never even would have thought of that. But you're probably right. Damn it. Sorry, I don't know if you can swear on this
PG.
podcast.
That's
sorry.
fine. No, you're good.
You're good.
Sorry, kids.
So, all right. Well, good, man. Thanks for coming today. Anything else you guys want to topic out today? How'd you guys keep your good hair? I ate the same chop suey you guys did.
No, see, I didn't eat it. He did. So cooking the chop suey.
Genetics. That's
what it is.
That's what it is. It's to be your mom's father.
Which mine, I think, was bald.
So it's not that.
Yeah, my grandpa has hair.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm glad I have it, but I keep saying my forehead keeps getting a little bigger every year, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Stretching out.
Like Peyton Manning over here.
You guys watch their Sunday show, or is it Monday night?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning and his brother. What about Jason
Kelsey?
Kelsey there, yeah.
I didn't see his retirement speech. Did you catch it?
No, I didn't.
She cried like a baby.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do when I retire, too.
Well, like, you think about it, as an athlete, you feel like it's over.
Yeah. No, I've heard that before.
You hear it, like, on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast and everything else. Like, that's their identity, their whole life. But they're, like, 35.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over, but you miss the locker room. You miss the camaraderie, the structure. Now you'd feel like you're nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's all you've done,
I'm sure you've had people ask you, what are you going to do when you retire? It's like, I don't know if I could ever fully retire.
Right.
I got two options. I'm just running by you because I think about it. I figure I'm going to go build decks in Florida or South Carolina.
Okay. So you're still doing something.
Yeah. Or I'm going to be in a bar down south.
Which side of
like
the bar?
Detroit south or how far south?
I might just be on the end. I might play it both ways. Depends on the day.
South side of Astor.
Nobody.
I think it's every guy's dream to kind of own a bar at one time. I've had opportunity, and my wife has said no. It's
probably smart.
It is. I know it's very smart, but it saddens me. I'm not going to lie. So.
I've never had that dream.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's from the old Cheers days or
Maybe.
Yeah,
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Had so many good times in the bar. If you just own one.
I don't know if I've had that many good times, but
Okay.
As far as retirement, I mean, yeah, we have dreams of when we retire, but it's a lot of vacation like that. We like to do that too, just to see different parts of the world and the country, and that's kind of baked into our retirement plan. When it happens, who knows? But it'd be cool to be like on the board for to that point, and or just kind of mentoring our future staff, and I think that would be really cool, really optimal for me, because it would be hard to completely walk away.
Or not do anything.
Right.
you think your kids would have any interest in it? Is that you're not building the business for your kids per se, right?
Right. Not building it for them, but if they want it, sure. But that's what I've said it to my son before, and I say the same thing to my daughter. Like, you got to want it first, and then you got to earn it. So you're going to work in the field. That's how it's going to work. You're not just going to walk up and go sit in the big chair. No one will respect you. You got to earn it.
Yeah.
And they got to love it and want it. Because if you don't, you're not. If we didn't love and want what we do, we wouldn't.
Right.
We would have been done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's got to be in you. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if your girls have ever expressed interest.
How old are your girls?
8 and 5.
Oh, okay.
The older one, probably not. Younger one, maybe.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
kind of a bulldog.
Yeah, I got 3 boys, and there's no interest there on taking what we have. And I don't necessarily say that I built what we have for them. It's not. I mean, if the opportunity is there for them, if they have interest, but it's like, I'm just like you. I love every day that I wake up. I love going to the office. I love interacting with our clients, our friends. But they just have, they're not cut that way. It's just not their interest, which is fine. It's just like as I raised them, I always wanted to try something. They've all worked for me. They've all been active in the business at one point, but they have no passion for what we do here, and that's fine. But I at least want to expose you to what I have here.
And I think to run a business, you have to have passion,
Yes.
or it's not going to work. You get that phone call at 8 o'clock at night, not going to answer it, right? Unless you want to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just this winter we did a new build for a client, and she had no water.
Yeah.
It was 8 o'clock at night. It was like her first or second day there on a Friday night. I told my wife, I said, I got to go. She didn't question. She just understands that's what I signed up for, that we signed up for in our industry. So
I thought you were going to say they had no electrical. I'm like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Can we not talk about this on the podcast and cut here?
no, your staff's been amazing. Brandon's been exceptional. Communication wise, it's been great.
Good.
So
I got to ask, like, people ask us sometimes, like, why? What's your why? And, like, sometimes I struggle with that. It's like, I just love what we do every day. But, like, do you ever think about that? Like, why do you want to grow? Why do you want to have another branch? Why? What's the why?
our staff asks me that a lot. What's I guess why? Why am I doing it? What's my end result? I really don't know. I couldn't tell them. I tell them it's not financial driven. I really don't know what drives. I'm just driven every day though, but towards what I don't know.
I've told people it's just who I am.
Yeah.
Can't sit still.
And as we grow, like, I want to have success to be able to empower future people, future leaders. I feel like that's why I like going into schools and talking to the next generation.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have to be a certain way to be a business owner. You can be you can be Adam, you can be me. There's lots of different ways to do it, but you don't have to be a certain person to be an entrepreneur, and you can do it your way. But I kind of agree. I always struggle with that. Why? It's like, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, I do love the mentorship of it. Even locally here, I have another guy that mows lawns. I don't really always use the word competitor. There's just somebody in my industry, and I've talked to them and I've given them advice, and that's fine. I mean, I know I'm not going to mow every lawn account. I'm not going to build every house, but at the other end, I know this person's local. He's got family here. He does a great service. I want to promote what he's doing because for what he's what he does, and that's hard. I think as business owners, we're competitive, and we don't want our competitor to succeed, or be in our same area. But at some point, you gotta, I think, accept it, and it's just a matter of you want to have some good relations too. So, whether it's your old employer or whatever it might be, you're gonna cross paths at one time.
Yeah, we do, and we've passed work back and forth with competitors or other electrical trades.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to do that, but sometimes it's all right.
Yeah,
It's just like there's probably within 5 miles here. There's probably 7 different builders, and I have no problems with any of them. I just all I ask is they're doing exceptional job to the best of their capabilities for their client, because we want good stewardship in our community. We want everybody. We just want the best out of our communities. So
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. We have friends that are competitors, and like you said, you might not always want them to get the job if you're going up against them. Like you said, there's competition there, but I think it's about relationships, even with your competitors, suppliers, customers, competitors. I'm still waiting for my old boss to give us a job. It hasn't happened yet, though. But maybe someday.
Either mine.
yeah, I mean, even last Friday, I had a lady call, and she's like, I got 2 competitive bids locally here, and I told her, I said, that's fine if you have 2 bids. Take one of them, because they're good. They're good builders around here. And I said that I don't need to give a quote. She was kind of mad at me, and I'm like, it's not that I don't want your job, but if you already have qualified people to do the job, I'm okay with that. And that's hard. That's hard for my staff to hear, but I mean that's okay too. You can't, like I said, you can't get every job. You can't be, especially starting out, which you guys know, you're not going to get every job. So
No,
You don't want to.
no. Your price too low then.
is it always price driven with your
Not always. No, not always.
Competitive bids, though.
Yeah.
It is.
more commercial probably on that part of it?
Sometimes it's who can get here first. If it's like you're a plumber and the water's not working, obviously you'll pay whatever. But sometimes just, can you be here tomorrow morning at 7? Like, yep, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially if it's for an existing customer. Like a lot of our customers now, like a lot of our work, year to date, it's over 60% is just repeat. Like you're a repeat customer, and that's what we want. It'd be awesome to have 100%, but you're always going to need new customers. But like, drive that repeat business up, and it's service and being fair and accountable, communicating all the core values, but putting them to work. It's not just writing on the wall. They're there for a reason.
Well, thanks for coming today.
Yeah.
Wish you
Thanks
guys
for
best
having
of luck.
You
And
too.
if you guys need anything, more like I'm gonna call you, because you guys are my role models lately. It's just that growth is killing me. It's overwhelming sometimes. At least you guys got each other to kind of.
That's
hugs.
for sure. No, like having a partner like Adam, I mean, like he's always calm, he's cool, and I can call him anytime, he'll answer. If not, he'll call me back. But like, we can bounce each other off. It can be anything. Like, this might be a stupid idea, but and he'll listen, and he'll never say it's a stupid idea, but what if we do it this way? That's probably smart.
Well, I'm
No,
excited
it's
for
good.
you guys.
Especially going on vacations or something like that. You have good people
Yep.
Yeah,
still there, making things work.
Yep.
It's running smooth.
running smooth. Communication.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what we'll call the
That's the key.
podcast. Communication.
There you go.
So, well, thanks for getting gritty today, and
Yeah.
wish you guys best of luck.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.